What's good, my handsomes? QBK back here with another BO4 video. Something a bit interesting and different today. As you can see, we got another analysis video. Specific date today, 25th of August, as you can see right here. This is the exact 1-year anniversary of when this was actually achieved. As you can see there is a timestamp somewhere like there, which you can see. This is why I'm actually gonna make a video for this. So every time an anniversary of some of the world records comes, I've done this with XLVI and I've done this with 47, I'll do a nice short analysis video on them. This is the first record that actually elapsed 1 year without being beaten. It is what it is, but I'm still grinding for the Gloire Black Ops 4. My engines are still fueling and there's still embers within my fire, so we good regardless of the fact that it hasn't been beaten for a while. Yeah, this was a 48. It was a very weird game where it was very random when it occurred. The background of it was me just grinding, and it randomly occurred at like midnight of the 25th of August. Literally nothing special, to be quite honest with you, but we're gonna go analyze it. You can learn some new shit maybe in Black Ops 4, maybe get better at the game, who knows. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, tell me, and if you want to check out some more analysis videos, then look at somewhere on my channel. There is a few more. Anyway, let's get into it. This was actually the first gameplay which had this intro within it, and that's quite an interesting thing to point out. Oh, that's an L, bruv. Let's go. A long time ago, I used to land only within this corner right here. It was my favorite spot of all time. This actually came from Barks. If you watch the tier list video of players, I just had to bring this out. If you watch the tier list video of players, you can, I mentioned that I did learn a few things from him there. Obviously, what you want to land here, there's three like things you can pick up from here, and obviously you're looking for a gun. So you're looking for a gun over here. Damon is fine, kind of a shit gun. You're looking towards this side first because you can pick up free kills from here. You can also pick up free kills from behind you. This is why this spot is quite nice. You can get free kills basically anywhere. This push I'm doing here is actually the same as the XLVI push. It's nearly exactly the same as what I did in the 46 kill world record. And you go over here and you try and kill people who landed in here. It's very interesting to look at this nowadays because it aligns very much well with the Blitzkrieg doctrine, where the idea of supply is progressive rather than regressive. So you want to push as fast as possible, and you don't worry too much about supply. So the supply you're taking is from the enemies. I guess this gameplay is kind of a mix, but it is more of a vacuum doctrine. I'm taking a bunch of shit down here. Whenever you play Alcatraz, you want to obviously loot stuff, especially in the early game, because there's actually perks. Once you go too far into the mid game, yeah, all the perks get eaten. I'm looking back because the audio in this game is so shit, like you can't tell if people are above or below. So this guy's above here, obviously. I got my brawler, so he can get his ass beat down. There was one benefit of not pushing people early. So nowadays, if I wanted to play in a Blitzkrieg doctrine, so just push everybody everywhere. By the way, also another thing, cool Easter egg here, we'll talk about that later. If you wanted to push someone really early, really fast, they're not going to be able to loot their area. Now there's a positive that they're not going to pick up the perks and use them, so you can eat the perks for yourself. But the negative is, you have to loot the area yourself now. Letting this guy come over to me basically gives me a free delivery of loot. The Easter egg with this actually, you might be thinking why I'm using a monkey skin, and it's not because I'm White Quentin. No, I'm just kidding. This is because of this grinder here. So there was a video I uploaded and he told me to use a monkey skin, get him a gameplay. So I did that. I got a 33 right before this game, maybe 2 games before, and then I said, yeah, let's keep going, let's keep grinding, and then I got him a 48. So Mr. Cookie, and he ended up in the fucking game magically, because this guy, he was there in my channel, not even in the game. So yeah, GG's to him. He was a grinder. He's my sexy beast. He's probably going to be watching this gameplay anyway. With that, that's kind of an L. Obviously, I saw a guy who was back there, so I'm just chilling, waiting for these guys. Whenever you jump barricades, I'm going to explain how this works. So most people don't know that you can do this. You can do this on multiplayer as well. If you have a wall that's like 90 degrees to the barricade, you can go up against the wall and then jump forward. So curve your jump, and that will minimize the damage of the barricade to you. So you only take one hit, and it's like forever basically. So you see I'm curving. And because the barricade actually doesn't give you instant damage, it does waves. So the barricade produces waves instead of damage like instantly as soon as you go into it. And because it does waves, it actually means you can have a run up before you jump as well. You could get unlucky and instantly take damage, but that's also fine because the next wave of damage will come a bit later, so you'll have enough time to jump and have a full jump over this. This is why this works all the time. And over here I'm just pushing a brawler, of course, because it's fine, it will work. Usually people do not expect this ego push ever. When they put a barricade, people don't expect you to push over it. Now, nowadays I've used this strategy so much to the point where I think people are learning, but back in the past it basically gave me free kills. Over here I'm still checking for that guy below. The MP's quite lucky. Get that shit out of here. I'm actually forgetting to loot the armor, unfortunately for myself. But it is what it is. I was hella tired, by the way. You will actually see with the gameplay. This is not a sharp gameplay. So it's actually sort of worse quality than some of the other 40s I have. I'm just patrolling the area, because usually whenever you kill some people, you will end up having people running around towards you anyway. So I'm just chilling, listening out for footsteps. So this was literally at midnight, just like that day on the 25th of August. So yeah, it was summertime, school was in there, so I was just grinding. So yeah, I was a bit tired. Not really doing too much. Oh, guess what? Lovely. I'm actually taking a lot of these bags and double popping. Now this is what I wouldn't do anymore, so I no longer double pop. It depends really what you like to play. Double popping is useless on solo squad, by the way. If you're playing squad, it's okay to double pop. What it allows you to do is it's a sacrifice. So anyone who tells you like it's good or not, they're not really telling you the truth. It's personal preference. If you want to double pop your perks, it will allow you to not die from them when you respawn. So let's say you have 2 brawlers, you pop one, you die, someone picks up the brawler, you land back on them, you die from your own perk. That's a bit of an L. However, it also makes it so you can't pick your second brawler up again. If you die, land back on your bag, you can still get a brawler if you didn't double pop. And also another negative is space. On solo squad, obviously, because you don't redeploy, there is no reason for you to double pop. My reason back then was psychological. It was like people knew me enough to the point where they would say, okay, we need to go find Jacoby because he definitely has some shit in his bag, so we want to kill him particularly. When I double popped and people saw that in my gameplays, they were like, okay, well, he's not gonna have any perks in there anyway, so we won't be playing 2K against him. Nowadays I don't mind. If people kill me, whatever, they can keep the brawlers. Another thing about this game as well, you have a 33% chance of zombies spawning in on Cell House early. In this game, it was very good it happened, actually, and it might lead me to believe that having zombies early is a positive rather than a negative. First of all, it allows you to tell where people are, but this goes backwards because they can also tell where you are because the zombies will track onto you. I'm just patrolling around like the sidelines where I haven't looted yet to get perks. So whenever zombies are on you, they'll shout at you and they'll run towards you. So you can find enemies easier that way. But mainly, the main important part of this was a Winter's Fury that came out of the box in this game. Out of every single top gameplay within Black Ops 4, the 2 best games, 50 and 48, both had Winter Furies in them. And quite a large majority of 40s also use it. It is... it's not actually, in my opinion, the best gun in the game. I think the VMP would be better. But for its job at farming people, because of its 2-shot capabilities, it might be necessary to stretch further to a 50 bomb. Again, another thing I don't really do particularly, but it is something you can do whenever you do vacuum. Because this is a vacuum play. What I'm doing right now is I'm just killing some people, giving them incentive to come back with loot. And then they also have teams that are going to come back with them because they land back. So there's a few incentives for them to come back. Unfortunate. What I do sometimes, don't open the bags. When you don't open the bag, what you can actually do is have the enemy open the bag and it'll give you a sound cue. If the bag is opened already, there is no sound cue. So you can... There's a trade-off to that, obviously. Because if there is a perk in there, we can't really know if there is a perk or not. You might lose out on a mobility or something. So usually I'll open the bags, but you can also close them if you really wanted to. Most people don't really think about like the game that deeply. And something I figured out a long time ago, probably February 2022, but I haven't implemented yet, is you can mark bags as well. Because if you mark the bag and the bag is closed, and then you can see it through walls anytime it's open, so you don't have to worry about sound. You can also see it being opened just visually. And again, vacuum doctrine, just people redeploying me. I got pretty lucky with the lobby, there's some bots in here. This gun, by the way, is really bad. This whole entire time, So I never, did a commentary here. My mic was open, but because it was nighttime, I couldn't speak. But this whole entire time, I was just thinking to get rid of this piece of shit gun because it's garbage. I was looking for a switchblade, but never found it. Unfortunately for me. I think this whole entire game, like, I didn't really find blackjack. It was only towards the end. I did trade. I did indeed trade for that. It is, statistically, it depends. An MP40 is like it's a difficult gun to use, but if you're trying to kill redeploys, very good, because more damage. And that's when the box goes. Anytime the box opens, for me particularly, I'm not sure if this will benefit to any other people, I run to that straight away. Or as soon as possible. Usually I'll grapple on the roof as well if I want a speed boost. Like, not the roof, but the ceiling. That'll boost me out. I'm pretty sure I actually dropped the level 3 like an idiot. I do pick it up later. If you noticed, by the way, in this gameplay, I missed out a brawler in reception. Now, I knew that in this game, by the way. I did know. I just couldn't return to get it because there was just random grinders around me. So it was unfortunate. One of the interesting things to notice about this game, timing-wise, it's very normal. It's actually not insanely crazy timing. It's about the same timing as XLVI and 47, I think. Very similar. One thing that is noticeable, though, is the fact that nobody died out. This was also a thing in XLVI. I can't remember if it was exactly the same thing in 47. What this allows you to do, it's not that important for early game or mid game. What it is important in, though, however, is late game, because it will allow you to stretch further. And the late game in this lobby was very juicy. Very plentiful. Timing-wise, if you want a 50 bomb, which most people aren't going for, but I'll give you the timings. By now you need 20 kills. I'm 3 down, so it would go to 47. When the zone goes here, like it just closes in, you want 30. And the next one, you want 40. And then by the end of the game, you want 50. So as you can see, I'm 3 down, and on the next one, I'll be 2 down. So I'll actually have slightly faster timing, but I'll still be a bit behind. Interestingly enough, my movement in this game and my flow, I was so tired in this lobby that I didn't really bother thinking about where I'm going. I was just running around. Usually if you have enough perks and enough supply, you can do that. You don't have to worry. I have mobility and dead silence, so just running around works. If you can't find people, just eventually you'll find someone running around, like as you run around. When you do this though, there is one thing you want to keep in mind. Don't run around in long routes. You want to cut into corners, cut away from your main route as much as possible. What this means is that to kill you, someone needs about 2 seconds of time. If you don't run in a straight line for more than 2 seconds, they can't. It's physically impossible for them to kill you. And then if you have a trauma kit, like I do sometimes, even if they weaken you to 1 shot, pop the trauma kit and reshell. That's why Cell House, it works very well in Cell House, and sometimes in other places as well, docks, model industries, etc, etc. The only problem comes when you get chowed from 2 angles. But Cell House, you can just cut across into, you can cut off line of sights very easily. When you have mobility and dead silence, it makes it really easy to just run around and not worry about people. It's something that a lot of people don't understand, because on paper and in practice, it doesn't seem to make sense. And so people don't try it too much, which is play hyper aggressive like this. They're just running around everywhere. But in reality, your speed is so fast to the point where you outrun basically all your problems. Very lucky Sparrow there. Unfortunately, it was used. This guy I'm actually going to punch, so this was purposeful. I have 2 bullets. I don't want to shoot this guy because it's going to do damage to me. I don't have reinforced either, and punch just works. Save ammo. And I was looking for the brawler here, but it was already gone, unfortunately. So another brawler, I wouldn't have really changed the outcome of the game, but it would have been nice. Again, as you can see, I'm really tired. I'm just screwing about humiliating this idiot accidentally because I'm reloading the thing. Movement-wise, I was okay. It wasn't too bad. Like, I was playing retarded. Again, very lucky with the vacuums here. If you look at the makeup of this lobby, and I'll explain what it is, it was very centralized within the middle of the map, which is quite interesting. Not a lot of my games have that, where I don't really move around. It was centralized like this. If you look at XLVI, for example, the original world record, what I was doing was basically doing this, loops, and then I did a straight here, did a loop here, then I went here, then I went here, and loops. In this gameplay, basically centralized here, loops, go a bit like around, and then like end off here. So everything is more centralized in this gameplay than it was on XLVI. Apparently I can't erase that. There we go. That's a positive overall. A lot of the time you don't have to worry about this too much if you're going for 30s, but you will spend a bit of time trying to look for people and move around. So that's why I would preferably have people here. Warden house, vacuums, or for people who don't know what vacuum, it's a farm basically, are some of the best you can get because they're the closest to cell house. And you can also farm two things at once. You can farm cell house over here and you can farm warden house over here. If the zone pushes like across like this, you can also get more kills. I'm actually blind. I never saw this guy being AFK. Again, I was tired. Don't blame me. And with the Fury, this just makes it really easy. If I had any other different gun like this, like if I had a VMP, this would actually still, like, it'll be much harder because people would actually shoot back and deal damage to me. With Fury, this makes it really easy. Again, Fury has some of its own disadvantages. Again, range is quite garbage. But if you're using this in Wardens, especially with Brawler and shit like that, then it's basically OP. This might look like a really dumb play for some people. The reason I'm doing this is some guy camping up here, first of all. And additionally, a lot of people might not realize how much time they actually do have in the game. So to get a 48 kill game, I think you need to get a kill about every 12 seconds. Or every 13 seconds, something like that. You used to have a bit of time to move towards somebody if you wanted to. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna beat that guy's ass down. And he had really good loot. So do spend time looting. If you watch some of my other analysis videos and I watch other people play it, usually they don't loot and they just get screwed over. So you can see me actually like looting shit because it's usable. Again, my looting is quite low because, man, I was tired as hell. The speed is quite not so amazing, but it is what it is. The sensor there, again, you have enough time for this to last quite a while. I know it was a good sensor. I could actually hear these guys before. Unfortunately, this guy landed as I went out, so I lost a grapple. If you have a zone and like usually there is people like in between sometimes, and that will help you reasonably well in some cases, because what will happen if you're going in between, there's people who will move in and also people who will be like on the edge here, and so that's like where the tension usually builds up within the lobby. It's one of the only predictable places you can say, oh yeah, this will most likely have some people. Because if you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the middle of the map, you know, it's like 50-50. At least here you have like a aspect of logic behind finding people in between the zones. Now you don't do that on every single case. Obviously, if it's an open field, nobody's gonna be there. But this is Cell House. This will funnel in people from new industries, model industries. Might funnel in people from Powerhouse. Unfortunately, zombies are blocking my way. Loot-wise, I was very lucky. If I had the second brawler, it would have been even better. As you can see, everyone being bots, level 4s, trash cans, and shit like that. The one interesting play I could have done in this game was pushed Parade earlier. That would be a different interpretation of what could have been done. That's the same kid I missed out before. I don't believe that would have been a smart idea. In hindsight, there's actually like 2 different teams of grinders who just like chilling there with full loot, and you'll see there's a lot of problems that occur here. I can't actually farm this, so I end up moving in and out instead of holding this place because it's impossible to hold. Here you need to move fast, by the way. This is why I'm like trying to kill these guys as fast as possible. The people in the back are a big threat, so obviously like don't try and ignore people that you've been just challenging. Obviously I have a bit of time because I downed Mr. Cookie, who told me to use this skin and gave me the amazing good luck. So Mr. Cookie is downed. They're gonna have to revive him and he's gonna be having to heal, so I got a bit of time to sit around and screw about with these kids, but I don't have a lot. The smoke will actually mask me anyway, so I should be good. The main threats are right side right now. I have a mobility, so even if I get chowed, like, it's not that bad. As you can see, bro, I cannot climb shit. That ass, like, but my brain was not functioning in this gameplay. 3 kills here. These 2 actually helped me quite a bit. The way this works in this end lobby, I don't know if we saw this in any other gameplay. There's actually 2 vacuums in one. So what you preferably would want is only a singular one. The only issue is that is impossible within this game. It could be even worse. It could have been 3. It could have been wardens here and here. So it could have been even worse like that, and then it could have been like some bullshit down here or something like that. You preferably want 1 in case there is 2 places where people are at, so top and bottom. What you want to do is make sure one of those places only has 1 team, and the place which has 2 teams is where you're at. Because logically speaking, obviously if there's 1 team in the south, they will not die. So you just go to the north and take out the north. Then that's what you have to do. I wiped the team here, which is why I moved towards the north. Because logically speaking, I would assume since they're wiped, there's not going to be as much conflict there. There's already shots here, so I'm going to move over here to maximize kill potential. And also, because this is a warden house, this is a really small area. It's going to be very easy to find all the people here and eat them up. Here it's a wide area. They can be everywhere, and you're going to be messing around with angles and shit. So end games, you got to pick your poison. You got to be intelligent enough to understand what to chow. Mid games, basically go anywhere where there is specifically 2 teams. You don't want 1 team, because if you have 1 team, they're going to quad chow you. If you have 2 teams, you get chaos, and you can thrive within that chaos usually if you're good enough. So that's how you find shit in mid game. In late game, this is how you should operate. If there is no shots and nobody firing, sometimes that can happen. Or there's less people. There's only 7 people or so. Then you can play the game a bit differently. But in a plentiful game like this, where I need to stretch, I can only lose 2 kills at this point, I believe, right? No, I can lose quite a bit actually. Yeah, I can lose a bit of kills. I'm actually quite ahead. But to try and maximize as much as possible, I do have to push this. The main worry here is I get quad shelled. Because this is a building, I can just like roam around and I got mobility, so even if I did get quad shelled, like it wouldn't be too bad. I still have a sensor as well. I made 1 unfortunate blunder. It wasn't particularly a blunder, but in hindsight it was sad. I thought these guys were on bottom, they were on top. So it cost me about a few precious seconds at the end, maybe 10 seconds or so. I also popped this late because my brain is tired. I want to go to sleep. If I popped it earlier, it would be much better. That sensor did come in clutch, obviously here. A lot of things aligned quite well within the game with supply-wise. Also another blunder. This guy, I didn't realize he was downed. I should have let the guy revive. But unfortunately, this guy, like, he literally went to the bottom floor and then ran away. At this point, I can still actually get a 51. So, could be a full record. Looting at the end like this is not very necessary. I think if this was me now, not a thing you inherently need to do. What I'm looking for though is, because there are so many grinders still in this lobby, some trauma kits, brawlers, grapples or something like that, small shit. And I wasn't wrong in thinking to loot, because this ended up being a 1v4 in the end game against people with full loot, which if you have very little supply, you won't be able to win. I got lucky here because the guy was actually moving around. I think he might have even been reloading or something. This was unlucky though. Didn't actually kill this guy. He got quite weak though. This ego challenge is just because this guy's weak. You don't have to finish him off, but at least if you can down him, it will disable +1 person on the enemy team, because someone's gonna have to revive. And this was just an L. As you can see, like, I can't even climb, so I'm over here using ledge slides to try and get out of here. It worked well enough. With war machines, if you can get high, they can't do anything to you. So with this terrain, it's very unlikely the war machine will actually kill me as long as I'm on top. If I'm on the bottom, it's even more likely it will kill me though than if I was on flat land, because the war machine can only bounce into me. This is a fast play, so over here I'm going for speed. I need to get like basically every single kill to beat my record. My previous record was 47. So I'm not taking off the 2x of this VMP. I said screw it, we're going to have a 2x VMP and we're going to use that to complement our Fury. In this case, not too bad, because in the majority of situations, take off the 2x, no problem. But when you have a Fury and you don't have a Eco Hawk or something to extend your range, having a 2x on a VMP is actually not a bad idea. And it did come in handy, surprisingly. because it was needed within the situations here. This is a 1v5 right now. Unfortunately, people died here. So that's what I'm talking about with like people being in different positions within the game. So you can't really do anything about that. In this situation, it would have actually gone basically exact same because there's a solo here, and a 4-man that were in a horseshoe. So one of these kills would have been taken. Guy shoots at me. Obviously reach out because the zone. So you know he has to go out or he's gonna be weak. So either you get a free kill because he's got no cover. He's got the wrong gun out as well. So this reach out makes sense. Always analyze the situation the enemy's in. In here, the situation is heavily to my favor. The only problem with here is that I have people to my left. If there's people behind me, rest in peace. My position is okay. Like this building is quite reasonably good. The only issue is if these guys were smart and they went on top, yeah, rest in peace. I did adhere to that issue later on though. So that's the guy. I know these guys are here because obviously they started killing people from there. So obviously remember where shots were before. Here, I don't know if I did a snake. If you ever wanted to chow this, you snake. So you prone and quickly sprint right before you touch the ground. And then if you wanted to even make it more juicy, don't slide. Sliding is worse in this situation. Jump. What I did was a corner cut, which is okay. I can do a video about how to camera people like that. It's simpler. It works. A corner cut is faster, basically. And that's what I wanted. This guy was already like, I could hear him before, so it was nice. Here, you need to take high ground. The issue with not taking high ground is if someone goes up here, they have center zone, and trying to shoot them upwards with a fury, rest in peace. So I'm taking high ground over here. And here's the guy. As I predicted, he would have tried. Not enough to kill him, but it's only one person. It's a 1v1 now. You don't have to worry about ending people in a late game, by the way. If you're ever in it's not Warzone. I think Warzone you would have to do this. In Blackout, if you let people stand still, downed at the end of the game, even if you lose the game, you will still get the kill at the end if you just wait in the game before it finishes. So my original first 43 kill game, the first 40 I ever got, I used that trick to add 1 kill on. Some of my newest 40s, so Constantinople, that one, had that trick. So this is why you don't necessarily need to waste time worrying about ending some people. The reason that's an issue is because you're using a magazine on someone who's not going to shoot back. Gives the enemy an opportunity to reach out. And as you can see, nice, reasonably okay looking gameplay. Kind of scuffed. Within movement terms and brain power terms, still ended up okay. Within this game, I kind of realized that significantly, the message that we kind of showcased was, oh, also another thing, never saw this guy ever. That's weird. Anyone see that guy in the thing? Because I didn't. Yeah, sometimes you simply don't see people, but if you pay close enough attention, you will notice some things. So yeah, with this game I realized that trying to beat the solo record is very much based on luck, because this game was, I don't believe it should have gone to a record in my opinion. It was definitely of worse-ish quality than the 47, and it didn't really have any special value that was inherent like the 46. Regardless, however, it was very important in significance. If you talk about context, so this came out, well, it got done on August 25th. If anyone was here before then, I mean, I didn't have many subs, so maybe you weren't, but my channel, I didn't upload. I demobilized my content from the 6th of June to the 18th of August, and this came straight in after I remobilized. It was a reasonable showcase of momentum and relentlessness to upkeep that mobilization. Now, that mobilization never ended. It kept going until the very end. Still in it basically now. Reaction wise, I never had a big reaction. The reaction I had to XLVI was much better off. I was just kind of silent because, yeah, it was kind of nighttime. So I was a bit happy, but it wasn't anything too special. It was quite decent. Also, this was one of the first videos that I actually released with this quality. So the 1440p wasn't exclusive to this, but it's crispness was. So if you look at my older gameplays, they weren't as crisp as this. My PC arrived on the 17th of August 2022, so arrived a week before, and I had my OBS set up to record at some sexy, I think like 50k bitrate. Oh look, there's still dots here, unfortunate. Let's get rid of them. It's midnight, bro. I can't, there we go. And then yeah, I'm just chilling. That's basically it for the gameplay. I mean, if you wanted to watch it, you can watch it. The damage was reasonably high, a bit higher than I think you need, if I'm correct. Actually, no, it's about one, I think. I think it's about what you should have. 48 here, as you can see. There was a 33 before somewhere as well. That's basically all for the video, actually. I'm gonna just try and take a look at anything. If you learn something new, obviously tell me. This is the reason I make these sort of analysis videos. I think it's good for dispersion of some content ideas. Might have people pick up certain things that will improve their gameplay as well. It's a bit of an interesting to do, and also for the respect of the past. Nice thing as well. In honor, of course, I uploaded the 42 today, Charlemagne. So you can watch the new 42 gameplay then as well if you wanted to watch some actual raw sexy gameplay. That was pretty nice. This gameplay, for anyone who's new, my new controller that I use nowadays, the BBC controller, I actually haven't used it for a while, so it's only been out for about a month. Back then I used to use a different setup, just a normal PS4 controller with control freaks and stripe pack, just for the back buttons, so people might think, oh, mods. No, it was just back buttons. So yeah, no hand cam though, because that didn't exist. So this was a very old era of gameplay. This was released later on, and I'll explain why. This was released on the 10th of October. Now, there was supposed to be another video that released on the 12th of October. Things went a bit interesting. It didn't, and it released, if I can remember the date, shit, like July 17th, 2023. Yeah, that video was scheduled to be right after this, but then it came out way later. Anyway, this came out here for the anniversary of Black Ops 4. It would have been in 2 days after, so I kept this gameplay in my vault for a bit longer. Same thing as XLVI. But that's basically it. I don't think I should waste any of your more of your time, guys. I mean, if you want to watch this, or if you want to watch any of the other world records, this one is the original world record, the second world record, and obviously the third one here. You can go ahead and find them on my channel. Just search on my videos most popular instead of recent, and you'll find them. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Vive la Gloire de Cat, and I'll see you in the next one.